Tim Smisek from Luck, Wisconsin. I brought my 1930 Model A Lunatic rat rod. I built it in 2020 to 2021, the winter of, and this is what it looks like now. That was a bunch of parts I traded Volkswagen for, and then I started building it. So the guy that had it before me, he started building the frame on it, and I took it from him and what he did, and I made stuff my own way and thought to change a few things that I didn't like, and decided to extend the front end, move that out, do the suicide front end, put it on bags. He had pretty much every single part laying there for me to go with. So I was trying to think of like a really cool theme for a rat rod, and like what's the scariest, kind of creepiest Halloween kind of style, because I really like Halloween too, of what to do with that. So I thought, well, what's scarier than like crazy people, because people in general are just nuts. And well, the insane asylum's where it's at, so Lunatic came about. So then I kind of based a theme off of that and started doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Name stuck, Lunatic, because you got to be nuts or to drive this thing, because it was insane to sit down that close to the road. I mean, semi-truck tires are this high when you pass them. The engine's a 472 Cadillac. The first one I blew up. The second one that I put into it was junk. So then I gambled on this third one, and it's been gold so far. It's been fun. It gets about 10 miles a gallon, so that part sucks, but it's awesome. Worth every penny. I actually had it pinstriped when we were at Ratstock. The first year Ratstock took place in Illinois. So the guy, his name is Knucklehead. He's out of Missouri. And he did this for me, and we went crazy on it and let him do all sorts of stuff on it. I think the second year I had him do my mirrors, because I loved his artwork already. He's a phenomenal paint, doing pinstripe. It's pretty awesome. That's the second bottle on there. It's a tequila bottle or vodka bottle, I think. I don't remember which one it is. Because the first one was dirty and this one's dirty too, and they're really hard to clean. It's got two Ooga horns on it because some people get irritated with my Ooga horn. So they try to unplug it up here. So then I put a second one in here. That way I could really irritate people every once in a while. And some people will hate it, which, I don't know. So we got that going. And then for crowd movement, when I'm at back to the 50s, we hit this one. And that one parts the crowd, and it's awesome. The rebar that I got is from Durex. I used to work there. So I actually took a screen apart. It would have been like this for crushing gravel. Took that apart, made a crazy looking spider web, bent it so that way it kind of did the concave cave to it. And I do have a top for it because I drive it and I always get caught in the rain. It's whatever. Rain-X is your best friend and it works just fine. Don't get hardly wet. Just snaps on the top. I found chain and I just thought it looked cool hanging up there, so I did that. And my aunt gave me this old anvil, and I believe her husband's uncle was a piano tunist, and that was one of his little anvils to tune pianos possibly. So I thought I'll keep it and I'll try to make a cool hood ornament out of it. My old man gave me a lot of old wrenches. Well, I mean, gave me all my tools, but when I was looking through a lot of the old school tools that I had from him, I decided that I'd keep some of them, and then I'm like, this would be awesome to stick on here and there. So I got a lot of old Ford wrenches that are actually welded onto this car, which cringes. And my old man's like, well, why is that? Why'd you do that to that tool? Because you're wrecking it, right? But I said, well, then you'll always be with me when, you know, that time comes. Yeah, I ended up doing a suicide front end because I like that axle sticking out as far as possible because it just looks way cool. So normally a Model A front axle would probably be right about here. And actually when you do a suicide front end, you stick it out farther and it's only sitting and hanging off of one perch and your two wishbones hanging onto it. So they call it a suicide axle because if anything breaks, well, you're going to hit frame and you're going to go down the road skidding. But if you build it right, you'll never break the frame. So it's built right. I did a lot of research, watching lots of people's videos and just looking at pictures of random rat rods online. So I kind of took a lot of collaborations of everybody else's stuff that they did, and certain things I liked I'd save and then I'd just kind of build them. So like my horn I found that kind of like a system online. I seen a guy had it in his rat rod and I thought, oh, that's cool, a noose. That kind of goes with the Lunatic asylum type of thing, you know. So we ended up putting that in, and that's the horn actually now. Then I thought a lobotomy for like a drill for your lobotomy, so I decided to do that for the shifter. My buddy Ken Hubble, he actually gave me the Indian head that tops it. That was on his old mud truck, so I decided that it would be a good location right there for that on the stick. So, I have like one of the cheapest air ride setups. It's Air Max cheap airbags, nothing special, but they've been great. My air tank is a 10-gallon portable air tank that I think I found at the garage sale for like $5, $10 maybe. So I ran that. I got a couple valves. They're really simple. It's all mechanical, nothing electronic. It's probably one of the cheapest air setups you can do. I just take a cheap 12-volt air compressor off of Amazon. I think it was like $60. I burn through them every 2 years, which that's cheap enough to keep going through. So my old man, you know, he finds me stuff, brings it over all the time. So he's like, I don't know what you're going to do with this brass rail, but here it is. So I decided, well, what better to do this at the car shows. And then I usually let a lot of people sit in this car, so I ended up making a sign for that. That way when I'm at car shows, then people can sit in and out of it. Let's see. So I usually have that sign sitting on the front of the car. But then when I first started out, I had a lot of kids getting in there, and well, you're a kid, you're going to pump the gas and you're going to play with the pedals and you're going to touch everything, right? So that was cool, and that's what it's for. But I decided that instead of getting in there and hitting the key and it's really flooded and wouldn't start or whatnot, so then I seen this eco mode thing online. I actually seen somebody else kind of do it, but not really do it for a rat rod. But I thought that'd be perfect. So I put eco mode and I shoved that underneath my gas pedal so they can't flood it, and it works perfect. Just my whole family was always in cars. When I was a kid, I just loved cars. My uncles, my dad, everybody, they always had badass cars. So I thought, I'm going to get into it too. Young age, I'd always be out there trying to take the little caps off of everybody's tires while everybody else was, sitting in the garage bullshitting. I'd be out there stealing my little caps off of my uncle's vehicles all the time. So I don't know. It was always fun just being around car stuff. So the rat rod community is way cool people. I mean, I love shiny stuff, but the people in rat rods it's been great. There's no pressure. There's no people trying to outdo. I mean, we always are trying to outdo everybody, but not like that. I hope for the best for the next person that's sitting right next to me that's built theirs. I'm hoping that they do kick-ass work and they outshine this thing or whatever other vehicle there is. When I built this thing, I was working on a 69 Pontiac Firebird and I was redoing that car. But I was into it. I had couple little spots of rust, so I was into that car and I was just going to town working on that car so hard. And then I kind of got burnt out on that car, and I'm like, this pile of parts was sitting in the corner of my garage, and I'm like, I'm just going to start building on that and kind of bounce back and forth. Well, I quit bouncing back and forth, and then this thing just kind of took over. And luckily, I have a really good wife who pretty much let me live out in my garage while I was building this, because this thing was like, it sucked me in and it held on to me for a long time. It took me about 8 months to throw it all together. But I had it going, and I was like, this is just so much fun just doing it, because you can be free on it. You don't have to be perfect. A lot of the measurements was just eyeball, and it was just fun. Certain welds you didn't care about. You didn't have to be perfect, obviously. You can see some of that stuff, turn the welder to crap and just let it go and do some ugly stuff. So I've owned a lot of cars, and a lot of cars I haven't built, and some of the cars that I have built, I like driving the ones that I have built. So most of the ones that I haven't built, I usually end up selling and not keeping very long. So this is the only car that'll probably ever stay in my possession. This one, right now I'm on a 55 Chevy pickup, and that one will probably be the next one that'll stay with me too. I really like taking pride in what I build, because every time I go to a show, everybody asks me questions like, how long this, or why'd you do that, or this and that. Did you build it? Of course I did. That's what I want to say. I don't know. I just got a satisfaction in building it myself, I guess. I mean, I don't hate that somebody else didn't build a vehicle, they bought it. That's cool. It's just not what I'm into. I like to build, and I like to be able to explain anything on the vehicle for myself. And I know every detail, and I know every little thing that can or cannot go wrong with it. And every nut and bolt has been placed by me, and I really take pride in that.